What is going on, Nerd Paraders? Welcome to the channel! Thank you so much for coming to hang here with us today as we showcase one of the epic builds that Nerd Parade may be known for. The amazing farm that is a huge step up from our last video, because I had my little baby starter farm and we had to make something crazy epic. Now, to give you a little backstory, this build was done live on twitch.tv/nerdparade, where it took place over the weekend, and we built a crazy cool farm that I'm really excited to show off to you. But before we kick that part off, introductions are in order. I am Nick, this is Nerd Parade, welcome once again to the channel, and thank you so much for coming to hang. If you'd like to support, you like what we do, you think the builds are crazy cool, tag the thumbs up button for me. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel for some more cool videos like this one. But if you want to be a bit more aggressive with that support, check out patreon.com/nerdparade. You can earn cool rewards for the support. If you're not already a member of our gaming community, come and game out with us on discord.gg/nerdparade. And if you're seeing this build and you really like what it looks like and you want to kind of follow along the progress and see how we do it live, drop a follow on twitch.tv/nerdparade whenever we go over there and do live build things of crazy coolness. We're starting here outside because I really want to show you the exterior first, because it took a lot of meticulous placement that you may kind of know from watching other Nerd Parade videos, but if you haven't seen them, I'm kind of a fan of the Valheim build system, and I always try to do the build out of the box method. So I don't like to use traditional stuff, but we got a lot of really cool things to show off, and I'm excited to do so. So let's get our interface back on here so I can see my stamina meter and stuff. And we're starting out here because this is my pride and joy. The drawbridge build that is the entrance point to the main entrance point to our farm. And I'm going to tell you why we built it like this, or why I built it like this, and why the parameters are set as such, and kind of how I did it. So we've got the drawbridge set up out of core wood blocks, and if you saw the mage tower build that we did here on the channel, I love doing like flooring stuff out of the core wood blocks. You have to be super meticulous and like shift free place all of it, but it looks so good after you do it, as is case in point. And we've got the drawbridge arms that it goes up and down, and I even went so far as to try to make a makeshift like portcullis that would go down and could have show the illusion of going down and blocking off this gate. Now, it is open air concept currently. There's not really a great way to block this off for, like, I know we're in the plains, so occasionally furlings or goblins will come running in and doing their thing. So what we tend to usually do is something that I don't like, so I broke it for the video, but I sometimes have to put it back out of necessity. We do something like this. This is simply there just to keep the invaders out. I do not like it. Hopefully there'll be a wider style gate added into Valheim, but for the time being, this is really the best way to kind of keep invaders at bay. So we're going to leave that little structure there. I broke it before we started the video, but we just rebuilt it here as we're kind of showcasing it. So the interior is fully protected. Now, we are in the plains. You're probably thinking, oh, dude, the plains, these guys are going to get just steamrolled. Well, we thought of that. So the only way in and out of our farm is a huge drawbridge, and then there's an entrance over there, but we have a huge-ass trench to protect us from everything else. We've had multiple invasions, and the way that the AI kind of works, hopefully this doesn't get changed in Valheim at the current time of recording, the way the AI works is it kind of gets stuck on the edges there, and will try to path towards the closest entrance to the door, but usually it's a far enough distance away. They either get bored, they don't care, they just don't tend to mess with us. So we've had a total of 4 invasions at this point, and not one has made it even close to the drawbridge. So that's a really, really cool thing, especially being built here in the plains. So food for thought there if you're going to do something cool. Enjoy ye trenches. We had a blast with it. I made this like crazy little guard tower-esque thing up here at the top. This took me a really long time to do, but I'm so proud of it. A really embellished staircase to get up there, because we make shit look good. And then I did my crazy cool core wood flooring here to give it the guard tower feel, you know. Who goes there, peasant? State thy business. What do you wish to do at our farm? And so, you know, come in. And the reason why we had this kind of set up like this, and the reason why this gate is so wide, I also kind of glossed over that, instead of being like, oh, Nick, you could have just made it a lot smaller and the gate would have been fine. Yeah, I forgot to mention why we built it so wide. So this place is going to function as a ranch of sorts for all types of animals, locks included. Too wide, locks cannot fit through. They're far too bantha fat to get through, so we had to make it wide enough. We had to make the entrance wide enough for the Loxen to get through. There's a Lox up there, a Lox there, and then 2 Loxen over here. It's Loxen is the plural, like ox and oxen. It's Loxen, it's plural. Nerd Parade Decree. We made that a thing here on the channel. So they need to be wide enough to get through. However, at the current state of the game, you cannot breed Lox. Hopefully that'll change in the future. And you cannot frickin'... I have not figured out a way to move those fat-ass banthas. I can't get them to go from over there to their home. They won't go to the home. So when they eventually are movable, mountable, rideable, what have you-able, we're going to try to get them into their home and into their barn. So this is why this gate is slightly larger than the other. This one is... One of these things is not like the other. We've got the grazing field, the grass over here from the, graze about and do their thing. The barn is more or less a shelter for us humble farmers, as well as a place for the Loxen to kind of get out of the rain once they're here. So it's a very open air concept. They can kind of march their way through. We've got the hearth for cooking, blocked off, of course, because we don't want those fuzzy bastards to get lit on fire. And then we have a little area for the sleepings and the relaxings, and a lookout over to a small, humble dock, where we can do our Viking adventures out to sea, as is tradition. Now, the whole thing is, as I mentioned, like, we terraformed the crap out of it, trenched this whole thing off. It is very wide. Unfortunately, what you're seeing there is bedrock. We cannot dig any deeper. The idea is to try to make a moat going all the way through. And I even had the bigger brain idea is, what if we could manage to lure sea serpents into our moat? Now, that would have been awesome. However, we kind of run short with the water, but it is what it is. A man can still dream, can't he? And as we move here on the other side, again, another small little field. And then we have an area for our crops. Now, this is segmented off on purpose because I want this area to kind of be... It seems like anything will really grow in the plains. Carrots grow in the plains, turnips grow in the plains, the barley grows in the plains, and flax. Now, I haven't, at this current time of recording, I haven't discovered flax yet. We've got barley, but I haven't found any flax. So we've got our little spinning mills pre-set up here, our spinning wheels pre-set up for the flax, like a little working area in the farm, and I plan to plant the flax over here in this segment. Now, you may be looking at our crop field and thinking, like, dear God, how are you able to do that? Like, how did you do that with the farming mechanics in the game? And if you saw the last video on the Nerd Parade channel where we talked about our starter baby farm, there is a mod that I absolutely suggest that you get if you do any type of farming and you like having the good food buffs in Valheim. Get this mod. It's called Crop Replant. So if we look at our barley in this field, we have a couple of extra options that you may not be accustomed to seeing. Pick up, yes. H, replant with the same crop. So as long as I have barley in my inventory, which I do not, I think we might have some in the chest, or I'll have to go back to the other baby farm and get some real quick before we do this and show this off. It'll instantaneously replant it. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. I'm going to do that real quick and show you guys, but the mod will change your life forever when it comes to farming, and you essentially only need to plant your field one time. Before anybody asks, Nick, where do you get your mods at for Valheim? Currently, we're only running 3 mods on this server, and that's all we really plan to for our vanilla-esque playthrough and these builds. There are no building mods on the Nerd Parade server currently right now. All this is done with vanilla structures, but we're running eternal torches, so the torches never have to be refueled. Quality of life. Beautiful. The crop mod, and then no death penalty. Everything else is completely unchanged. So I'm going to go get some barley and show you the replant ability. So we jumped back to the baby farm and grabbed ourselves a little bit of barley just so I don't mess up my amber waves of grain essentially over here. We want to make sure that we only have to plant this thing one time. The mod requires you to have the cultivator in your inventory. No problem, I always carry it, but you don't need it out when you're going to do this. Now, prepare for mind blown, because this is a must-have thing to make your farming life easier in Valheim. It's so good that I actually wouldn't be surprised if the devs for Valheim kind of made this like a part of the game, because it's so quality of life. Prepare, if you didn't watch the video before, we're going to hit H to replant with the same crop. Boom, AoE effect, done. Farm my grain, get all the foods. This is the best thing in the world. I'm trying to do this without using the mouse, so I'm missing a lot of these guys, but it does it in an AoE effect. Tons of frickin' barley. you'll never want for barley flour ever again in your entire life. As you just H your way through here and replant the fields. It also gives you a percentage meter. The mod gives you a percentage, as you can see, percent grown for how done the barley is, how ready it is, or any other crop for that matter. Run all through here, gather all this stuff. And this is just farming made simple. You must have this mod if you're a farmer in Valheim who avidly makes their own god tier food with barley flour. This will change your life as it has changed mine. There. Now our field is completely replanted. We have 256. We can fill this all up. We're gonna save the a little bit more just so I have some starter barley in my inventory before I start the planting process. If you don't have the barley in your inventory before you kind of like pick up, there's a chance it may not replant because the stuff that you're picking up may not get into your inventory fast enough, so it may create a open spot. That's why I went and grabbed some extra barley to have it with, and we can just fill up our windmills like absolute crazy. Gotta get all the way to 50 for OCD reasons, and then we'll store the excess barley. I mean, just a huge amount, and let this go. An amazing farm, and with the mod, an even more amazing utility for crafting your foods. It's just, to me, it's become like a new way of life, a new necessity. So that's why I say it wouldn't surprise me if the Valheim devs really made this how farming functions in the game due to how amazing that this is. It's changed my life. I don't think I could do it without. Flax will go here once we eventually discover the seed, hopefully soon, TM. And then this takes us to the more trade route entrance for our farm. We only have one way in, one way out for the Loxen, but for us Vikings, we require multiple entrances and multiple exits. We've got our dock side over here, but this little mini drawbridge, this was my prototype. This is the first drawbridge that I ever built. So we did it here on the farm, and then I did the Uber drawbridge, which is my pride and joy. I love that one. But it's the same type of style. Core wood blocks, snapped through, and then I love the like drawbridge style arms. If you could do this with chains, that would be so awesome. But for the time being, we're working with what we got. The little like shift free placed holes in the stone walls to kind of look like it goes up and down. Let me know which drawbridge in the comments here you like more. I'm sure you might like the epic one more, or if you prefer this more subtle one, let me know. Tell me which one's your favorite. This one's currently my favorite because I worked the hardest on it, and we gave it a cool little guard tower. The barn is looking epic. The barn was built by mine, who records with us. If this is your first Nerd Parade video ever, he's a buddy that records with me here. I tease him, I make a joke, I say it looks a little like a circus tent, but these two guys are my babies. I did the field, did the gates, the little spinning station. It makes it sound like it's a gym, the spinning station. But the barn is a structure built by mine. I tease him. It looks like a damn circus tent, but it accomplishes everything that we need to do. Mine and I are a really good team when it comes to building because he likes to take the conventional methods of building and push them to the limits. And I like to use the methods of building to find unconventional things like the core wood floor design. It's currently my new passion in Valheim. Let me know what you guys think of this video. If it's your first Nerd Parade build video, let me know if it is, and check out some of the other ones. If you really like our crazy cool builds, be sure to tell me. If you haven't done so yet, like I mentioned earlier in this video, tag the thumbs up button and subscribe. Now's the time. But most importantly of all, always remember to take care of yourselves out there. Stay awesome, and we'll see you in our next video. Later.